It's strange how a single comparison can shatter years of love. I remember that night vividly. The soft rhythm of rain against the window, the half-eaten dinner cooling on the table, and her voice slicing through the quiet. "You know," she said, eyes still glued to her phone, "Ryan would have never forgotten something like this." Ryan, her ex, the name she once swore didn't matter anymore. I didn't yell. I didn't even flinch. I just looked at the woman. I thought I understood. The same woman who once promised she'd never look back. Inside me, something broke, silently, like a bridge giving way under too much weight. She noticed my silence and exhaled, annoyed, as if I were the one being unreasonable. "I'm just saying," she went on. He was more thoughtful, more attentive. Each word hit harder than the last. I nodded, swallowed the bitterness clawing up my throat, and said quietly, "Then maybe you should have stayed with him." Her face changed, a flicker of shock, guilt, maybe regret, but by then it didn't matter. Something in me switched off that night. The days after were painfully quiet. I'd wait beside her, but it felt like lying next to a stranger. She'd laugh at her phone sometimes, and I stopped asking who it was. Deep down, I already knew. The messages stopped being hidden. The excuses stopped being clever. And one morning, I woke to an empty side of bed and a note that read, "I need to find myself again." I didn't chase her. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. When someone walks away that easily, what's the point in begging them to stay? I packed her things. The perfume bottles, the framed photos, the little notes she once left on my desk. Each item felt like erasing a ghost who'd never truly loved me back. For weeks, I said nothing to anyone. My friends noticed, of course. "Where's she been?" they'd ask. She found what she was looking for. I'd reply with a faint smile. It was easier than explaining how a man can lose everything and still pretend he's fine. Then one afternoon, I saw them, her and Ryan, walking hand in hand like a scene from some cheap romance film. She looked radiant, almost glowing. He looked proud, like a man who'd won a prize he didn't deserve. I turned away before she could see me. I didn't need her pity. Months went by. The silence that once suffocated me began to feel peaceful. I focused on work again, rebuilding myself piece by piece. But life has a strange sense of timing. One evening, as I was locking up my office, her name flashed across my phone. "Please," the message said, "I need to talk." For a long moment, I just stared at it. Part of me wanted to delete it, pretend it never came. But curiosity, or maybe the need for closure, won. I replied with 2 words. "What happened?" Her answer came an hour later, short and trembling. "Can we meet?" We met at the same cafe where she once told me she loved me. Only this time, her eyes were empty, her smile forced, her hands trembling as she stirred her coffee. I waited. When she finally spoke, her voice broke. "Ryan left," she whispered. "He said he wasn't ready to be a father." For a second, I couldn't breathe. "You're pregnant?" I asked. She nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. She looked smaller somehow, fragile, worn down, like life had finally caught up with her. "He said he loved me," she murmured, mostly to herself. "He promised me everything." Then he disappeared. I leaned back, feeling a strange blend of anger, sorrow, and something close to peace. Karma doesn't always come loud. I said quietly. Sometimes it walks in softly, sits across from you, and lets you see everything you've lost. I'm not here to gloat, but you compared me to a man who never had the strength to stay. Now you know what that looks like. She looked up, searching my face for forgiveness, but I had none left to offer. The man who once would have moved mountains for her was gone. I stood, left some cash on the table, and said, "I hope you find what you were looking for." As I walked away, I felt the last of the weight lift off me. She was left with a reflection, and I finally had my closure.